Hi, my name is Suzanne Rain, and I am one of the trainers for the New Home Source Professional tool that we're going to talk about a little today. Today, this is our 2023 New Homes Outlook from the agent's perspective. And so we hear a lot about the current market, how it affects home buyers, sellers, home builders, but we're not always hearing about how it's going to affect realtors like you. History tells us that such a market can have a costly impact on those who aren't prepared to meet home shoppers' expectations. And Realtor.com's chief economist tells us that they will be unfriendly and indecisive. Doesn't sound good for us, does it, out there? If you've never heard today's presenter or taken his courses, you're about to hear fresh practical content and case studies that will help you survive, if not thrive, in this year's market. His qualifications and experience are unmatched. After 3 years as senior vice president of Bay Island, the second largest condominium community in Florida, David Fletcher spent his entire realtor career listing condominium communities and subdivisions, then recruiting, training, and supervising full-time realtor staff. His on-site team sold more than $3 billion in new construction in more than 50 communities over 20 years. He served as the marketing consultant or broker of record for 27 lender workouts and 16 subdivisions, and listed and sold 11 rental conversions. Based on his approach to listing these properties, the developers never canceled his listing agreements. He was always in the position of working with co-brokers while having a fiduciary, I always stumble over that word, sorry, relationship with the builders. He's a lifetime achiever, recipient of a key to St. Petersburg, Florida, for his role on the city's Economic Developers Commission, was featured speaker at an NRA convention in New Orleans, accepted an invitation by Reston Publishing Company to write the book Condominium Sales and Listings. Also chaired the Florida Home Builders Association Sales and Marketing Council, founded New Home Co-Broker Academy in order to change the builder realtor culture, wrote the policy manual and developed the budget for the first known new home divisions for Merrill Lynch Realty's 65 Florida offices, which is now Coldwell Banker. He lives with his same wife he met in college, and they have a daughter and a grandson. So it's our great pleasure that David Fletcher is here with us today. David, you want to take over?
Okay.
Before he takes over, actually, I wanted to let you know, I'm going to throw out a few polls just so we can get to know everybody that's listening to us. So David, you go on, and I'll be launching these polls for people to answer.
Okay, when the results of those polls come in, just interrupt me if you get the results, just
Okay.
to see how they did. There's just a few questions there, right?
Yes.
So yeah, great. Well, thank you, Suzanne, for this. I appreciate it very much. This is no light honor for me to be partnering, and we've partnered now with New Home Source Professional for about 5 years, and it's quite an honor for us to be tied into such a strong company that's so committed to helping real estate agents learn how to sell and show new homes. So I see the first question's up. How long have you been a real estate agent? If you would just check that, we'd appreciate it. So let me go ahead and let's get that one off the screen as we move through this. So are you getting some results in, Suzanne?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to end that one.
Okay, I'll just wait. Oh, wait a minute, because they showed 1 year less, 32%. Well, that's high for the normal, isn't it? 5 years or more, 37%. And 1 to 3 years, 32%. So it looks like about 37 and 32, 60, about 70% of you have been in this business for more than 1 year. What always interests me is the ones who are here who've been here 5 years or more. You know, I ask you, we constantly see that being a high number through the webinars and other seminars we've done, and we always ask them, why would you? We've had people with 10 years experience or more, you know, and we'll ask them, why would you come to something like this? You could be given this, right? We got to kid that with them, and but they always say they need to keep learning, and some of them will tell us they never had the right training, and there's, you know, that type of thing. They heard this was pretty good, whatever. So welcome. Have you ever sold new construction? Just a simple yes or no. I'm going to put up some numbers here. I'm gonna guess at the percentage. I'm gonna guess 60% have sold. What'd we get? 68%.
This time you had it
No,
backwards.
okay.
Yeah, we have more
32%.
people this time that
Okay,
that haven't.
interesting. Very good. Okay, what's the next question? How do you qualify resale shoppers looking for resale homes and new construction prices? This will be interesting.
They have a little more to read on this one,
Yeah.
so it might take a little longer.
Yeah. Almost 80% will qualify.
So yeah, I stopped that one.
And seeing new, they will qualify their interest in seeing new homes. That's wonderful that they're doing that. Let's see, they try to show them resales only if that's what they said they want. Okay, we're going to deal with these because some of those folks will look at and buy new homes, no question about it. Let's see, they don't buy. If they don't buy resale, I will. If they don't buy resale, I will show them a new home. 13%. And I will show the new homes only when forced to do so. Okay, none. Good, very good. This is going to be really, really good. Thank you so much. Do we have another question, Suzanne?
I think we have one more.
One more. Okay.
It's what percentage of your sales are from referrals?
From referrals. I'm gonna guess on this one. I'm gonna say 51 to 75. Okay. I'm trying to prove how smart I am, and I'm not doing a very good job of that, am I? Let's see, what percentage of your sales are from referral? 1 to 25. 37. Okay. Well, the reason I wanted to ask this question, um, look at this, 76 to 100, 21%, 1 out of 5. Look at that, 26%. These have to be, I guarantee these are some of the folks that have been in this business a while. Where they're getting 20%. Well, I don't know. This is an interesting result because according to the National Association of Realtors, 50% of your business of your resale business should be from referrals after 2 years, right? You guys probably heard this. But anyway, there you go. All right. That's great. Okay, let's get this show on the road here. What we're going to talk about here today, let me make sure I can get through this with my got this set up a little bit different here today, I think. What's not moving? Okay, hang on a minute. I got to try something here. Hopefully that'll work. Pardon me, I'm sorry about this. I don't know what is going on here. Okay, I'm just going to have to do that for a moment. I just want you to read this. I don't need to read it to you. This came out about a month ago from Realtor.com. Suzanne quoted a little bit of it, but I wanted you to see that this is an official analysis by them. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you're experiencing this or not, but she said there could be a nobody's market. We're going to talk about how you can become somebody in a nobody's market. So let's go. Let's get this going this way. There we go. Now, here's the goal for today. We're going to talk about how to get more sales with fewer prospects. We'll talk about this today. We'll talk about this 5 years from now. We'll talk about this 50 years from now, because this is the big idea. And there's a way to do it. I don't care what the market is. It can be good, bad, or indifferent. but you need to be, what we call, the new homes people call it a sales to prospects ratio. We're not trained as resale agents to pay much attention to that. In other words, I've got 5 prospects. I'm selling 1 out of 5 of those. I need to get that at 2 out of 5, right? In other words, that would be getting more sales with fewer prospects. And so that's what we're talking about. The objectives on how to get to that goal would include these. We want to sell more resale and focus on that, selling more resales and new homes, both. We've got to get into that market if we're going to reach that goal of selling making more sales with fewer prospects, that's got to include the new home prospects these days. We're going to talk about a whole section, and we're going to challenge you. We're going to ask you your opinion and give you some interesting things to think about in some case studies. We want you to respond to those like you've done already. This is when we're talking about making sales you might lose. I mean, in this market, with the prospects being so thin and getting thinner, then, we're going to have to make sure that if we've got a qualified prospect, we've got to find them something to buy, right? Help them buy it. And the third one is just make sure we're always showing saleable inventory every single time. It doesn't make any sense to work as hard as you have to work for a prospect and go through all of that and then can't find it really saleable inventory. And that's different. That can be different from prospect A to B, right? Prospect A may think saleable inventory is something near the school. Somebody else might think it's something they don't have to spend a nickel on to fix up, right? So we're going to talk about this in some detail. Okay, we're going to take an actual case. Okay, let's say that you've got a prospect and for a resale, and you're showing them some homes, and you're having some pretty good luck here. They like this home right here, the one on the bottom. They like that house, and they're pretty excited about it. You're excited about it. You can see the realtors there. The people are there. They're all looking. One guy's got his hand on his head. He's trying to figure something out. Maybe the cost of fixing the pool. We don't know what that is, right? House looks pretty good though. Looks like it may have a new roof on it, freshly painted, but we don't know what the inside is. Don't know how old it is, anything else. But that's where we are. But so let's say they've showed how many homes today, right? Could be 3, 6, whatever. Hopefully not more than 3, but there you go. All right, so they go home. At the end of the day, you go home excited because they like that. They fell in love with that house. And they're going to call you Friday, and so you know this is going to happen. Absolutely going to happen, right? How many of you? I'm not asking you to show of hands here, but how many of you been here with this, right? I mean, you don't want to be a taxi service, for goodness sakes, and sure enough, these people got this, going to buy this thing Friday. You go home, maybe go out to dinner, go to a movie, kind of already pre-celebrating, right? So, but these people go home, and they're not going to a movie. What do you think they're thinking about? Here's what they're thinking. They don't understand the money in today's market, especially, I would say. So what do they want to do? They're going to call you Friday for sure. But what are they going to do? They're either going to want to wait, or even perhaps worse, if you've been with them a few weeks, they'll want to do what? Exactly. See some more homes. How in the world do you put a stop to that? And what we're going to do today, hopefully, while you're listening to this, you'll start thinking, you know what, I've got a prospect right now. As soon as this webinar is over, I'm going to call them and do this or say that. Hopefully, you'll pick something like that up today, because what we do here turns to money if you do what we ask you and recommend that you do. We know because we've done it for years. So let's just keep going with this and see where this takes us. Okay. What if now you decide, I'm going to show them a new home. They've been looking at resale. You say, well, and you say to me, maybe, well, why should I show them a new home? They said they wanted to resell. And we saw some of the responses of that on the questionnaire we just did, right? I think it was 13%. You're waiting on them to tell you they want to see a new home. What we've got to do is change that a little bit in your showing schedule. And I'm going to give you some really good reasons to do this. the number one reason to show a new home first is to help them understand the money. Because what? The one thing that you might complain about, which is that fixed price, because you can't negotiate it, and maybe you can't negotiate it, but the fact it's fixed will help you sell more resales. Watch what we're about to do here. And the way you present this is, look, Mr. and Ms. Jones, we've been together X number of weeks, whatever. You just came in from Texas, whatever you might want to, whatever the deal is, right? Let me tell you how I like to work. It's very important to me when we start looking at these homes that you understand the money. I can show that better than explain it to you. And what I'd like to do today is when we go out, let's stop. I want to just stop by. I know you said you didn't want a new home. You said you want to know the school. I understand. That's not why I'm showing you the new home. I just want you to see what you can get for the money. My job is not to sell you a new home. My job is to help you find the best home for you for your budget. Now, you've told me you want to spend about $400,000. So we're going to stop and look at a $400,000 home. On the way out, do you see, and put it this way, do you see any disadvantage to you in doing that? That's the script. Do you see any disadvantage to you in our making that stop? So you go out to the new home, you put absolutely no pressure on them at all. You just want to be quiet, let the on-site person do what they do. And by the way, you will learn a lot about these people. They'll ask them questions you forgot to ask, perhaps, in the qualifying process. They know more about that location in detail than you will ever learn, which will be a tremendous help to you if you have listings in that area. They know what's going on the plan from the planning commission and what's coming in later and what's just came in and what just opened and all that stuff. They can do it. And that's huge. That's a huge help for you, especially if you're new in the business or new in that area, right? So they go into the new home. And what do you think happens here? When they leave that new home, they have seen a beautiful home. You're going to start thinking, you know what? I should have showed this home first. And that's why you should show it first. I would not wait till this has to happen. Now, it can. You might say to me, well, I've sold new homes. I've showed them first, last, whatever. Great. Good. Don't want you to change a thing if it's working for you, right? But really a better way to do it early, especially if you're working with people out of town who don't know the market. When they leave there, they will know exactly what they can get for $400,000. Now you go back and now you show them these resales. What do you think they're comparing those new homes to? You showed them multiple listings, you've done this, you that, but all of a sudden they have felt, seen, and touched a new home. Now they're going back to the resale. Now, let me ask you this. When we go back to the resale, let's say they did come back in Friday and you showed them a new home, which meant you didn't go out and show them 18 more resales, right? They wanted to see some more new resales. No, you went to the new home. They may even said right at this point, look, I've seen enough. Let's go back to the home we love, the resale. We want to make an offer on that one. Or they may say, hey, you know what? This is a little further out, this and that, but we love this new home. We love this floor plan. We love the new things about it. We want to buy this one. You see, all of a sudden, without you putting any pressure and doing anything, really, you've got a prospect there for a completely different home than they thought they wanted. Why? How'd that happen? Because you're such a great salesperson? Because you got this great closing technique? No, because you strategically knew how to show new homes and how to show a new home against a resale. Now, will there be opportunities for you down the road to do this where you actually show the new home first? I'll tell you what will happen. And never to sell it. Never to sell it. That is not your job. Your job is to help them find the right home at the right price for their lifestyle, right? It's just that simple. And you need to keep reminding them of that. So anyway, I just wanted to plant that as a seed, as a new way for you to start showing new homes. And we've had people, we have a whole section on this in our course, and people love this section because and they keep asking, why don't they teach us this in resales? I don't know. I don't know any better way, because what happens when they go back to the resale, they're thinking, okay, let's take this house on the right, for example. Okay, they're asking 400,000. We got a base price over here of 400,000, right? Well, if I ask you which one of these was the best buy, you wouldn't be able to tell me that, would you? Because you don't know what these prospects want at these standpoints. So we can't say, oh, the new home's better because it has the warranties and that, blah, blah. See, we can't do all that with the prospects. We tend to do it, especially if we're trying to push a new home. We can't do that. We need to back off a little bit on that one, right? Because now what happens is you're going to take them back to the resale. What are they going to be thinking about? They're going to be thinking about what they just saw that they could get for 400,000. And now they're looking at this house to the right for 395, 420, whatever, right? But they and all of a sudden in their head, they pretty much know what they want to offer on this house. They're pretty much getting an idea of what they're giving up to live in that resale. It may need, they don't know, maybe they don't understand the money here. Maybe they don't know what it's going to cost them actually the real price of this house once they move in, right? Maybe they got some concerns about that. They don't have any of those concerns on the house on the left. That does not mean they're going to buy it. It may mean they want waterfront. This house is on the waterfront. The new homes aren't. So you can't ever get into that, right? You have to let them do it. Then they start asking you real good questions that start leading them to a closing decision. They will make it. You'll be surprised if they don't see that new home. All they've got is more home resales where they don't understand the money that you're showing them, and they're becoming more confusing. You've got to get that new home in there somewhere. Best place to put it is first. I ran into one of our graduates in one of these receptions, and one of the builders was having. And he came up to me and he said, David, man, he said, I wish I'd have shown you home first. He said, I said, why? What are you talking about? He said, I had to take these people around for 8 weeks showing them resales. He said, I finally remember what you teach. You show one first. He said, it was too late, but he said, I brought them back here. And the other thing you taught us is not to say anything during the tour. He said, I just turned them over to on-site people, and I sat over in the corner, and they bought the house, that new home, that night. He said, I couldn't believe it. And, I'm thinking, this is the way it works, not every time, but it makes a huge difference when they see something like this. It's the best sales tool you've got for your resale, for your whole business. You want some sales tools? Show new homes. It is, whether you sell a new or resale, showing a new home to your prospects is the best sales tool you've got to close a resale. That maybe sounds like a strong statement, but it's true. So we got through that objective, how to sell more resales and new homes. That's how you do it. Here's the second one, make sales you might have lost. Oh my goodness, you had these prospects and for some reason you didn't close these people. They were qualified, motivated. And what happened? Okay, let's look at this. And we're gonna give you some case studies, real live case studies that I've experienced. I don't teach anything that I have not personally experienced myself. And so we want to see what you would have done. This is going to be a real helpful exercise for you guys. So be sure to participate in this, because we're going to force you to think about how you would respond in the field when these issues come up, and they do come up. This will be number 6 when it goes up. Says, since we keep losing bids for foreclosures, we have decided to wait a while. Now, when you get that, when you get that answer, whether it be for a foreclosure or anything else, what do you do then? Okay, what would you do in this case? Give us some answers on this, and then we'll talk about what actually happened. Suggested they look at new construction, 65%. Suggested they increase their bid, 6%, 6%. Okay, you see what we've got here? This is why I have for years been crowing about we need some best case from the NHB, the NAHB and Realtor.com, and sit down together and give realtors best case responses to situations. All right. Because those of you who answered at 65% are exactly right. I'm going to tell you what happened here. Suggest they check MLS. Hold on, leave that up just a minute, if you can, please. Um, see, the thing is, when they suggested they increase their bid, they'd already done that. They're worn out from this. They kept losing bids. They kept increasing them and whatever. Okay, agreed. They should take a break. Okay, that probably happened. Some shouldn't. These people want to buy something. They've been trying to buy something, right? Okay, here's the easy way to do it. Here's what happens here. When that happens, whether you're losing these whether it's for any other reason, you're just tired of making bids. Well, what you have to do is realize, in other words, here's the simple answer. Let's say they've been bidding 250,000. They don't want to go over 250,000, right? Won't do it. They didn't want to do that originally. They started bidding at 200 perhaps and got up to 250. That's it. We're not doing it anymore. We're gonna quit. We'll go back and stay where we are. We're gonna rent another year or whatever, right? What we teach you is to always remember what they're bidding at. All right, the number is 250. What you say to them is, you know what, I totally get this. You guys want to quit? I'm tired of it myself, to be honest with you. This has been a stressful situation for you guys. I'm not going to say, why don't we take a break? No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not suggest because that doesn't solve anything for them. It doesn't. Going back to check MLS it's not a bad idea. Maybe something came up. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of that. But what I want is a complete change of environment here. So that complete change of environment is a new home. At what price? 250,000 or close to it, right? What happened in this case is they went out and looked at a Ryan home and looked at, within 2 days, bought the Ryan home. It was like for 240. And the agent, why this was so special to me, I got it done, unsolicited email from her. Didn't really know her. She just, thank you, blah 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 blah. She said, I can't believe what happened. They went out and bought the house. She said, and I'm a brand new agent. This was my first sale. That means a lot, obvious to me. And did she do that because she knew construction? No. Financing? No. Not much of anything, right? Probably didn't know how to get back to her office. Perhaps, who knows? It's a strategic way of thinking about showing and what you're going to do now, from now on in your real estate career. What you're going to do is set it up so that you can make more sales. Let's go to the next one. Well, okay, I'm on business here. Here's one. This is an interesting one right here. We like, hold it up, don't put it up yet. We like 8 of the resales you showed us, but can't make a decision. May we see some more homes? 8. This was the very first sale that came from our courses. A guy from Atlanta. He called me up. They were just took the car, blah, blah, blah. I said, I can't believe you recommend I did this. I didn't even know what he was talking about. He ended up driving from Atlanta down to Orlando to meet me. Now, I don't know what all that was about, but he was quite impressed because what happened here. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, put it up if you would, please. Sure, thank you. Let's fill this out. What would you've been with them all this time. They got 8 houses they're looking at and they can't make a decision. What do you do? Okay, suggested 39% suggested they narrow the decision to the top 3 choices. Suggested they look at new construction. And nobody put the others. So we're getting there with something. Suggested they look at new construction is, of course, the right answer. So this gets a little easier as we go through these, right? And what happened here is they went back, they went and looked at new construction in the price range they're looking. And they ended up coming back and made a decision on the resale they wanted and closed. And that's why the agent was beside himself, you know. So I mean, it's so simple. It's, you know, to me, it's not that big a deal. It's what you do because you're giving them something where you get a fix. You're not showing them more homes they're going to get more confused about. You can show them a fixed price. You know, oh, we're not interested in new homes. We can't afford a new home. Blah blah. Fine. That's not what you're trying to do. All I'm asking you, all we want to do is just stop by, take a look, and see what your 250,000 can buy. That's all we're doing. We'll be there for 15 minutes, and maybe you have some other questions, maybe not. I'm not trying to sell you a new home. I'm trying to help you understand the money, right? Get that down. Write that down. It's something you're going to start helping them understand is the money, because that's something I guarantee you with a mortgage rate, all the things going on, they're confused about a lot of things these days. Okay, got it. Very good. You guys doing great. Now here's one. You might run into this one. Here's a leasing, a tenant, right? Here's one that's very interesting. And we're going to spend a little time on this one. I've got a couple of slides I'm going to show you related to this. But they've come in to meet with the realtor, and they've been thinking about maybe, but at least they're getting tired of the payments, the rent payments, right? So they're going to buy a new home. They decided they can do it. So they're going out to buy a home, not necessarily a new home, but start building their first home, perhaps for equity or whatever. So they've gone to you. They come to you, and they're not. They can't really. Their lease doesn't run out for 5 months. What do you do with this one? Let's yeah, there it is. Let's, if you would put that up. What would you do with these folks? Suggested they consider buying now. Well, let's talk about this for a minute, just to make sure we're understanding this. If you suggest they buy now and they've got 5 months to on rent, are you suggesting they go ahead and buy and pay a rent payment at the same time? Because they can't close, nobody's going to, they get qualified for financing or whatever, 60 days max, right, on a closing, or in that range, correct? So that's a good idea. And there's more to it, and let's keep talking, because you may be right based on why you would do that. Okay, and we'll get to that in this discussion. The realtor told realtor told I can't read a bad
That one says, Realtor told to start seriously looking for resales in 3 months.
3 months. Okay, they told them to do that. In other words, let's wait, come back in 3 months, and let's see what we can find. All right, we'll hear that one. Next, realtor said he could get a builder to pay the rent. Well, that's interesting. Okay, and then we got none for realtor. Start another realtor help. Okay, good. All right. Well, let's see how this one unfolded. Here's some facts about buying a new home. This is pretty interesting. 56% of the buyers said this was a study done by BDX a few years back, and they interviewed 990 people who said they were going to do something and then buy something next year. So out of that, 56% of the buyers said they purchased a spec or quick move-in home. That's what they wanted or what they had bought. 44% wanted to build new, not consider resales at all. 33% fully complete, they would, and let me back up, I might have been confusing here. 44% want a home from ground up. 33% wanted to be fully completed, done, spec home, whatever, inventoried home, move-in ready home, whatever they call them in your market. And 23% said they would look at partially complete. Okay. See, so what we're seeing here is three different levels and types of inventory available in the new home market. You see, in resales, it's just resales. You add this, you're adding three different types of sales potential to your inventory, to your business. Let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer this. I'm not putting up a poll, but over to the left, I've got the real question here is how many types of inventory do you see for sale here? Just to give you something to think about. I see what I'm looking at here is a good potential for that renter that came in that we talked about on buying 5 months. I see something for them here. Do you see it? There's three types of inventory here. Up in the right corner, you've got lots, home sites, I call them. The people who want to build from the ground up. On the left side upper, you've got these under construction, partially complete, right? And then you've got these other homes in the bottom half on the right side there that look like they're just about done. You know, another 30 days, they'll be complete. So you got three types of inventory. So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. When you get a rental prospect, you may have a really good prospect. They want to move in 5 months. You don't want to say to them right off the bat, hey, you know what? I know a builder who'll pick up your rent for the next 5 months, right? Because you may not know that. That can change overnight, even if you heard something like that. You always want to confirm whatever, but you don't want to make any kind of comment or promises to them that you can't keep, right? So when they come in with the 5 months or whatever it is, 3 months, whatever, you have to think in terms of inventory being, if they wanted to move now, let's say, and they've got a pretty good while to move, they might be able to get a better price now. If they bought one of these homes that's under construction, that's going to finish in maybe say 3 months. Okay. Well, they may say, well, you see, this is where we can start negotiating. Well, we're not ready. We don't have enough money to deposit. We have, whatever reason, we don't want to close in 3 months. We want to close in 5 months. Well, here's now a market slowed down, let's say. This is a builder now who's got a qualified prospect. They go out, they will buy it, and they will buy it in 90 days when it's closed, when it's been closed, when it's ready, when the certificate of occupancy is issued. They'll do that, but the builder's going to have it ready before their lease runs out. My guess is these people paying a couple of $1,000 a month. They got they want to move in 90 days. The builder does. They got 2 more months on the lease. I got a feeling he could probably negotiate a little something to get them out. Don't you? And it depends on your market. Excuse me for coughing. I have a little bit of a cold here. Excuse me. Let me drink some water. So all I'm saying is we're in a market where we've got to do everything we can to help the people that are qualified and want to buy a house to buy one. But we have to understand they have a lot of questions. They're tentative. They're not sure. They might want to wait. You know, mortgage rates might drop. They heard this, heard that. You got to be constantly giving them something to help them, what I call, paint the vision for how they live. Once they understand how they can live and they can see, touch, and feel it through a new home, they don't, it's hard to forget it if you're in the market for a house, right? So so now you've got a realtor who's gone out to a builder and say these people got rent runs out in this period. When is one of these houses going to be complete? You know nothing about this. Let's say you don't have to know anything about this. You just have to know what questions they ask the builder, right? When are these homes scheduled for occupancy? Well, it depends on the stage of construction they're in, right? But you know, there's an answer to that. Well, if I found somebody, and I'm not playing games here, I've actually got somebody who wants to move in 3 months. if I could, I'd love to, you know, get them out here into one of these homes. I think I could do it. But they don't have they've got a lease that we've got to deal with. This will not be the first time the builder has heard a realtor is dealing with somebody who has a lease. I promise you, they do, and especially in this market, right? So that's what you do in that case. All right, I hope that's helpful. Okay, let's get back now to another case study. This is a situation where the wife did not want to move. They retired from Disney. He did. He wanted to open a video business out of his house, his new home, and with an office. Knew exactly what he wanted, the type of house he wanted. She didn't want to move. 26 years living in a house with no mortgage payment and 2 dogs. She loved her dogs. Not moving. I'm gonna cut through about 3 weeks of this. He finally agreed to at least look at a floor plan if an on-site agent would show her one, which had been offered. So she goes out to this particular community, falls in love with a floor plan, but it didn't make any difference because she didn't want to move. And she kept saying this. I happen to know that because I'm the one who dealt with this. On the way out, after she picked out a floor plan, which is very important that you're dealing with one type of floor plan, right? One, not 6, not 3, one. This is what she wanted. Okay. So the agent suggested as we leave that maybe we would like to stop by the lot that this would fit on. They could cite it here and just look at the lot. And the husband said, fine, like that, you know. So we go out, we get out of the car. She goes and stands on the lot at his insistence. Meanwhile, the husband has showed up. I mean, the agent has showed up. She showed up. And this lady who did not want to buy anything said this exact words: I don't want to lose this lot. Because the builder only had 5 of these available, right? 2 of them been sold. Always some urgency. Every builder has it. Always expect it. Listen for it. Talk about it with the on-site people up front. Know what the deal is. Know what you can negotiate, and never negotiate in front of your people. Okay. Anyway, she's there. She don't want. All of a sudden, she's not moving. Now she doesn't want to lose a lot. What happened? This is really important. Maybe, let's see, maybe I want to ask that question first. Let me see what this is. Let's see. Okay. She ends up, put this up, please. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, wife resisted buying a home. What do you think happened here? In this case, the husband did not want, he got cold feet. He actually, when she said she didn't want to lose the lot, wanted to talk about the money, he told her, well, this is expensive. Why don't we give this a couple of days and talk about it and come back? She wouldn't let him do it. So that would not work. It could happen, obviously, but not in this case. On-site agent knows how to work with wife. Yes. What did she understand? Yeah, correct answer, obviously, is 43. None of the above. The correct answer is 43. By the way, some of you who put none of the above, you want to send your answers in to, maybe we can talk about some of these things. Be sure some of you guys, if we have time, we'll talk about some of these. So here's what happened. When we say the on-site agent knew how to work with the wife, you have no idea how good this on-site agent, and they are trained, they are good, they hear things every day. She heard about this lady's dogs, and you know where that site was happened to be located? Just happened to be located right across from the doggy park. See, she had now the woman got her vision for how she could live in that house. She could, as she said, I can sit on my porch. I can sit on my porch and watch the dogs and walk. And my dog's right across the street. I can watch other people walk there, play with their dogs. This is great. That's why her vision for how she lived there all of a sudden showed up. See, without that, they don't buy. They have to have a vision. So we don't need to get upset with one or the other. Two, if the husband doesn't like it and the wife loves it, we have this all the time, right? We don't have to start getting negative and critical of them. We have to start understanding their vision. We got one who has a vision, one doesn't. Got to get the other one. And that agent knew it. Great lesson here. Oh my goodness. And they bought that house, built it, lived in it, happy as they can be. Has she ever been to the dog park? They happen to be friends of ours. No. It's like, people who buy into these places have boats. They're going to buy there and go fishing 3 times a week. They never buy a boat. Okay. We can get to that discussion some other time. All right. So next one. This is one. They're here talking to an on-site agent. They had been with an agent for like 6, 8 weeks. And this agent came up to me at one of these broker events, almost in tears. And she said, I am so upset. And she was really, she said, I'm thinking about quitting the business. I said, what in the world happened? Well, I had this couple who insisted they wanted a pool and wanted a resale. They said they could not afford a new home with a pool. And they called me Monday and said that they apologized all over the place, but they had gone out that weekend just looking, get some ideas. And they ran into an on-site agent and they saw a floor plan they like, and they bought the house. New home. Been with her 8 weeks. She showed them every resale with a pool and she could find. 8 weeks. What would you do? How could this have been prevented? Got any thoughts on this? Let's look at some options here, please. Suzanne.
Is this the
Oh, I'm sorry. I should give you the
prospects
number.
purchase a new home?
Hold on. This is, I should have looked at, I'm sorry. I should have looked at this. Here, number 11. Number 11.
Okay,
I'm a little bit ahead of myself. I apologize for that.
that's okay.
Okay. So there it is. Number 11. You have to think, well, why would they do this? Why would they go out and buy out their agent, right? Well, the number one reason, is they think they're going to save a commission, right? You show me a builder that'll cut a commission and cut me out, I'll show you a builder that never see me again. I won't go around talking about him, won't do all that. I just not going to do it. Okay. Builder's incentive package ended the day of business, so forth and so on. Let's see what we got here. They thought they could save the commission. Well, that's probably what they thought. The builder's incentive package ended the day they won. So they were walking, they had some urgency that they were up against, right? The on-site agent suggested a way to buy without a pool. That's the 33%. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. And so hopefully, see how we're learning here? What happened was this. They went out, they fell in love with the model, fell in love with it. Couldn't afford it with the pool. You know what she suggested? Couldn't you do this yourself up front before this ever comes up, right? So you never have this problem because you're going to run into it if you're in kind of Sunbelt area where pools are popular, right? She said, look, why don't you do this? Since you love the home so much, why don't you buy the home without the pool, live in it for a while, blah, blah, live in it for a few months, and then decide on the kind of pool you really need. They thought that was a fabulous idea. That's why they bought the home without a pool. Do I think they'll ever have a pool? No, I hope they do. If they want one, good chance they might not. You see, this is why I'm constantly beating the drum. You don't need a lot of skills. You need strategies. You need to know what to do. And that's all I'm saying here. Just learn the new homes. Okay. Um, let's see where we are. Okay, we talked about that. We've already talked about that. So we're going around. What we want to talk about now is our third objective. And what is that? Show saleable inventory every time. I cannot even start to begin to tell you how important showing saleable inventory every time is. When you're out and you can't find, a lot of resales out there, but this one has that problem, this one has a short area, whatever, they all got something, right? When you show a new home, you know one thing for sure, you're going to show a saleable home. Whether they buy it, like it, love it, whatever, it's going to be a saleable home. And so that's why that is so important in this market. At least it becomes a sales tool for you. And I want to turn this over to Suzanne. Suzanne, I'm going to turn this over to you and let you explain how they do this exactly, because this is amazing. If they're not familiar with this, they're going to see something new that goes way beyond a multiple listing situation. You can't do what we're talking about here through multiple listing. So Suzanne, I'll throw that to you.
Thanks, David.
And I will mute myself, I think, if I can. Okay.
So New Home Source Professional is a free tool that's available to any agent. We do partner with some MLSs and brokerages across the US, but at the end, you'll see our website is just www.newhomesourceprofessional.com. So you're welcome to send a question in right now to see if maybe we do partner with your MLS or your broker. But no matter whether we do partner with an MLS or broker in your area, it's just easy to get to on our website, and it's totally free to you. It's a way for you to search listings that the builders have shared. And as David was saying, we do tend to think it's better than the MLS, because a lot of builders will put 1 or 2 listings on the MLS, but they don't share everything. They don't share plans because they can't fit it into the exact criteria of, exact number of beds, exact number of baths that the MLS requires. So with New Home Source Professional, you're going to see more information than you would see even if your MLS does have builders that add information there. So it's a great way for you to run a search in the area and then share listings and information with your buyers and your clients. David, you want to go on to the next slide? With your New Home Source Professional account, which is free, you get not only the capability of sharing the listings with your clients, but your account comes with a basically, some people now have called it a microsite, some people called it a landing page. It's a website that you're going to customize with your own URL. You are able to go in there and add your own photo, your broker's logo, a custom background for the area that you work. And whenever you share listings from New Home Source Professional to your clients, this is where the clients are directed back and they see all your information. So every time they look at the information that you share, if they have a question, if they want to submit a question online or call someone, it's going to be your contact information that they see. So it's a nice way to direct any clients back to you rather than the builder. Anytime you share information with your clients, they are never provided the builder's contact information. They're always directed back to you. One great thing you can do with a New Home Source Professional is share the listings that we have out there of the communities to social media. So when you're sharing the listings through email to your clients, your goal is to help your client because they've already maybe expressed interest in new construction, or in my case, because I'm an agent in the Austin area, anytime I get a new buyer, I try to share the URL with them, because that way it starts the conversation with a buyer about how I could help represent them with new construction. Once you start sharing the listings to social media, it's great because you may get new leads through that, and they're all free. Everything about this is free to you. So it's a great way for you to know what's going on in the area, what's available What is that resaleable inventory that David talks about? And then communicate with your clients. And it's all totally free to you. David, do we have one more slide, I think? I thought he had one more slide for me to talk about. We do webinars just like this one every week. However, we do have several that you can sign up for that are just how do you use New Home Source Professional. And this last slide is the way to give you a little information on the type of information that we share. So you can see that when you run a search, you're going to see all the properties available, and you can see it either in a line item, you can see the pictures, and then on that far right side there, that's showing you what we call the full detail mode. So you have more information, you get that builder's contact information, but your buyer does not, because this view is what you would see on your agent account, not what your client would see. So it's really a great tool for you to be able to know that you're sharing information with your buyer that's accurate, because I think you can see on there on the right that says under the price that listing was last updated, I think 16 hours ago. So we keep the information up to date. You'll know when it was updated, and it allows you to know what's available to share with your client there. And again, we do offer free webinars. At the end, David has our site up there, www.newhomesourceprofessional.com. And you can see on this screenshot, there's a resources tab that then has links to all our future webinars. So if you're interested, please sign up and send us questions if you want to know more. Thanks, David.
All right, thank you, Suzanne. Okay, we're about done here, folks. Here it is. This is my challenge to you. Be that somebody who will be the home shopper's trusted advisor. That's who they're really looking for, right? And now that you've got a few new bullets that you can use, I hope that works out. I just want to show you a sample quickly of how our NACB accreditation is used in Facebook, and builders are starting to learn to start searching for that NACB so they can find the good trained agents who are spending time and money learning how to sell new homes. Okay, let's see here. There we go. And we're having we got our course has a little discount here for the next day or so. We'd love to see you join us if you feel like it. If not, we hope you've enjoyed this. And let me get us back to the right slide here, and this will do it. If I can back it up.
And I just sent in the chat our website, newhomesourceprofessional.com. So if anyone's interested, they can go into the chat to get that link there.
Very good. Okay, Suzanne, I think I'm done here.
All right, let's see if there's any. I think Angela's been able to answer most of the questions. We want to thank you for joining us today. And hopefully, if you have any feedback, go ahead and you're welcome to reply back to the emails that we sent, or you can put something in the chat. Any feedback you have on the topic, or the case studies. David's always looking for new information, new questions that he can use, incorporate into his trainings too. So we want to thank you for joining us, and hopefully you found this information valuable, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.